Nico Collins, 3 years, $72 million. Jaylen Waddle, 3 years, $84.75 million. And then I read, and I don't know how accurate it is, but that Brandon Ayuk would like to get paid in the Amon-Ra St. Brown neighborhood of 4 years, $120 million. All right. Do you guys think that there's a little bit of teams going, we don't want it. We are not paying you guys this kind of money. Like, we will trade you. Well, your value is super high. We're going to get a ton of assets. We are not paying you guys $35 million a year. Like, there are too many. We might not be able to get a 1-for-1 comp with Justin Jefferson, but we'll be able to get 3 guys that we think can fit into our offense and do what do you think there's a certain point at which these organizations are going to start pushing back and going, hey guys, we hear you. We also hear this. Another team, maybe a lesser organization, will give you that $35 million and hamstring themselves.
Mike, well, we've talked about this before, Tony. Wide receivers are becoming like you can get a great wide receiver in the draft every single year now. And I don't know if it's because of the new era of football where we have so many 7-on-7 at young ages, where people are just getting so many reps at wide receiver that it's becoming a position that, like you said, you have the top guy, but you have another guy coming out just like him. So we heard that there was rumors that the Vikings were trying to trade up with the Chargers to draft Neighbors at number 5. And if they did that, they were going to ship off Justin Jefferson. That was the rumor that came out, a week or two ago. Yeah. And you're seeing it. Tomorrow is June 1st. I don't think people understand in the NFL world, tomorrow is June 1st. You know what June 1st means? That means that a lot of teams are going to get a lot of money back on their contracts or onto their salary caps because of the players that they let go a couple months ago. Like the Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins. The longer those go, the more I go, all right, we're going to see a trade coming pretty damn soon. Brandon Ayuk, like the 49ers are in such – 49er fans can't get it through their dumbass heads right now that they don't see the future going right now. When you if you do sign Brandon Ayuk to this big old contract, guess what? You're in salary cap hell for the next couple of years because Brandon Ayuk's not the only one not showing up at 49ers OTAs right now. Christian McCaffrey's sitting his ass out. 49ers don't have there's no way that they can sign Brandon Ayuk and keep Deebo Samuel and keep this whole group together for the next couple of years. So I see Brandon Ayuk being traded this offseason. Still, I've said it before. I said it before the draft. There's going to be a team that comes at it. We talked about Justin Jefferson. I still think that, but there's no reason. Like, wide receivers are going to start being treated like running backs pretty soon. You're not going to be paying these top guys once they're big and their rookie deal's up. See you later.
That's crazy. Mike?
I mean, yeah, to go back to the original point or question on how the market is kind of unfolding here, it's pretty interesting to watch because it seems like with the quarterbacks and the receivers, and it could be like Joe saying, the change of the game and the focus on offense and basically just telling these guys they can't play defense over on the defensive side of the ball. It just seems like there's no in between anymore. Like if you're a wide receiver 2 caliber player and you're performing at a high level at wide receiver 2 with an elite wide receiver on your team, you're viewed as and paid as a wide receiver 1 still. That's why I kind of like the Nico Collins deal. He took a little bit of a pay cut compared to what he probably could have fought for on the open market. I think his average is coming out to like $24 million per year, which is still crazy. That's still a lot. I'm pretty sure he's making a similar amount to like Devontae Adams. But when it comes down to like the top 10 highest paid wide receivers, once Ayuk is paid, once CeeDee Lamb is paid, once Chase is paid, Jefferson is paid, and a few other guys are paid, we're looking at Nico Collins going down to like 13th, 15th highest paid wide receiver in the league. Or if you look at Jaylen Waddle is now making a similar amount to Tyreek Hill per year. He's going to be in the top 5 highest paid wide receivers this year with Tyreek Hill, but he's the wide receiver 2 on the team. So this closing of the gap, there is no in between anymore. There is no more like Jacoby Myers type deals, Joe, to reference, the team that you root for out there with these guys. They all want, $120 million. They all want Amon-Ra St. Brown money. But if Deebo Samuel's still on the team, Ayuk's not going to give us Amon-Ra St. Brown volume, production, none of that. So it is an interesting situation to look at. And I do think that the teams are hitting a certain point where they're just going, well, we'll just go to the drafts, i.e. we'll just go draft Ricky Pearsall. Like, we will do what we got to do to replace you and keep this Frank train, what the 49ers are of a team right now, on the tracks over holding on to this wide receiver. That's why I think I said it in 2 episodes ago. I was like, I feel like every position, they have different levels of commitment and stuff. We were talking about Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb's commitment to the team, except for wide receivers. I feel like wide receivers are ready to go, ready to be traded, ready to go get more money on another team at all times, especially because of how plug and play the position has tended to be. I do think like it's interesting. It's tough for teams to justify paying 2 wide receivers $25 million plus at the same time.
That is wild. And we saw that last year, and when it doesn't work out, it's quite brutal. But I think that there's a little bit of some of these guys that are getting to the table first instead of like waiting. They kind of know where they're at in the position in the line. Like Devonta Smith wasn't out there going, I need to be paid more than AJ Brown, or I need to reset any sort of markets. He was like, I think this is a good contract, good value, and I can still be back at the table while I'm at the prime of my career based on the way that my contract. I will find a way to go get more guaranteed money. And I think that's the thing that we don't always think about, is like the guaranteed number is the one that really is the one that's the most important. Like, this is what they know they're going to get as long as they, play ball and stay on the straight and narrow type of situation. Like, there was a question up here. Do we think T. Higgins is as good as these other guys? It's like, there's all of them are kind of in that same like class of wide receiver where it's like they can be game breakers, game changers, however you want to look at whatever that is. But it's such a dependent position. Like, imagine if Brandon Ayuk leaves the offense of Kyle Shanahan and goes to Pittsburgh, because I think that's an actual legit place where he could end up. They want it. They said they were going to do something sort of splashy at wide receiver in the offseason. I think it was them. They haven't done that. They haven't made that move yet. They could go out and try and target. I highly doubt Cincinnati is trading T. Higgins within the division, but I could see something like that. I don't think they're going after Justin Jefferson based on what he wants. But we got like CeeDee Lamb trying to figure out what he's got going on with Dallas. Like, does he want to sign that mega contract? Then all of a sudden Trey Lance is his quarterback in 25. Like, I think a lot of these guys go, just pay me and we'll figure out the quarterback situation later. As opposed to some of the other guys, like Nico Collins is saying, $24 million a year and CJ Stroud is going to be my guy. Like, I'll take it. I'll stay right here in Texas. State taxes, not an issue. Let me go ahead and put up big numbers. And then in a couple of years, hopefully I'll be able to re-up there. Last thing I want to say about the wide receivers. Imagine the Vikings, who have traded away Randy Moss, Stephon Diggs, and Justin Jefferson. They will have traded away, if they were to make this trade, they will have traded away 3 Hall of Fame potential wide receivers within like a 2-decade span. If you're a Vikings fan, you would be ripping your hair out, because I know a lot of Vikings fans, and I remember when Randy Moss got traded, and it was just absolute anger and cussing and everything else. And then Stephon Diggs gets traded away. It wasn't so bad because they still had Adam Thielen. But if you trade away Justin Jefferson, like that to me is like a reason to mutiny. Like, we are storming the building. Why are you doing this to us?
And that's going to be a big one, Tony. If that goes down, it's gonna be a lot of picks, a lot of picks, and probably players involved in the trade as well. But I think we're getting to a point now where every Hall of Fame level wide receiver at some point is going to get traded or leave in free agency, most likely traded. You don't let players like that walk for nothing. So Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, they're all one by one getting traded. I thought Keenan Allen was going to be the one that doesn't get traded, stays on his team forever.
I think where you're at in the build of your organization, right? And I think that the Vikings are in the perfect situation to sign Justin Jefferson to whatever he wants and help him bring along JJ McCarthy. And then when it's time to sign JJ McCarthy, he will be at a point where he is elevating the wide receivers. And maybe you are able to work out a good deal and keep Jordan Addison around. He sort of becomes that one while you look for another bigger play type receiver on the outside. Somebody's a little more physical, less of a route running specialist. So I think the Vikings are in a perfect situation, and they're saying, we might be open to trading away the best wide receiver in football, which is insane to me. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand, because
the same thing that we're talking about is like that teams are having a hard time paying these wide receivers. But then when you go, okay, I'm going to put them up on the market, then you got to find a market for them. And if teams aren't already, if your own team isn't paying you, another team is willing to give up draft picks and pay you, that's going to be a harder market to find too.
Yeah, and I was going to push back on Mike a little bit, but for the sake of time, I didn't go that route. I think the trade packages won't be as big as we think they are, because they also have to pay that $30+ million a year. So yes, they will be going out. And for Justin Jefferson, it might be the equivalent of a first round pick and then some, but it'll be more in a second round pick, 1 year, and then back-to-back third-round picks for 24 and 25, or however, 20, 25, and 26, however that would work out to get to a package that's worthwhile. But I can't see giving up multiple firsts, even though he might be worth it. And on top of it, you have to then give him $30+ million a year. That seems a little bit wild to me.
There's a team in LA that would love a wide receiver, probably one of these guys.
Yeah, but I don't think that this, and they do have a lot of cap space next year. They could find a way to afford making this. I just can't see the new regime going, oh yeah, we want to go out and make a gigantic investment, maybe in somebody more like a Brandon Ayuk, who's shown in the Shanahan system, which I think will be similar to what is going to happen with the Chargers. But I don't know. Me and Mike would be over the moon. Emergency pod if they trade for Justin Jefferson, of just celebrating. I can't even dance anymore. I have no cartilage left in any.
I think the NFL would do cartwheels, Tony. I think Roger Goodell and his whole office would celebrate if a guy like Justin Jefferson went to the LA market. Come on.
It would be crazy. I wouldn't even believe what I'm looking at when the news broke for that. And if you think about it, the Chargers kind of have young receivers that they could package in there, young DBs they could package in there to save on the draft pick costs. Like Tony's saying, the cap space is now there. You basically would like relieve the Keenan Allen and Mike Williams situation from the cap to acquire Justin Jefferson in his fucking prime. Okay, it's pretty wild. I just don't see the logic in it, especially this year, that they're trying to set themselves up to have some flexibility going into the future years by moving receivers out, and then immediately like put yourself and take away that flexibility by bringing receiver in. So that's the part that will be kind of like game plan wise, what it looks like the plan is for the Chargers, where it would start to crumble a little bit for us.
Yeah, I think soon we'll see like Rashawn Slater will be talking about contracts, and then as we get, we don't need to make this a Charger centric part of the pod right here. I'm glad to hear that Joe wants Jefferson in LA. That's all.
I'm looking like we're talking about all these wide receivers, and there's three teams that I see that are wide receiver that would benefit from having one of these wide receivers come in. If it's Justin Jefferson, Higgins, or Brandon Ayuk, and it's the New England Patriots who have the money to do it. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers who need a wide receiver, and it's the Chargers. And all three of them, I can see those three teams are the ones I can see making moves in this offseason to bring another one of these wide receivers in if they don't work out a deal with their team.
You think the Chargers need a wide receiver? They don't.
I've seen the damn wide receiver. Come on.
Okay, we'll see. Week 1, we'll see about that.
Bill Flames, I'm with Mike on the mic. With something brand new, one time for your mind. He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster.